Live Clive.
Hi.
Lee Van Cleef. How we doing?
Good, Mr. Samworth.
Mr. Samworth. You're not going to go with Sam, are you?
I'm not.
Would it be uncomfortable?
I feel more comfortable with Boss or Mr. Samworth.
All right, I'm not even going to... right.
If you ask Lee...
He calls me Sambo now.
Exactly, but if you said to him, why does... He'll explain to you why, because there's different
dynamics and that.
Yeah, because it's just I don't know, it's just a respect thing. I can't explain it.
You don't have to. Life story, wherever you want to start.
Life story, ooh, right, yeah. So as far back as I can remember, I was born in Salford. I was born in Phoebe Street in Odsall to Maureen and Jimmy Twamler. My dad was only young when I was born. My dad was 16, my mum was 17.
Earliest childhood memories?
Earliest childhood memories. Police coming to the house for my dad.
Really?
Oh, all the time, yeah. All the time. From the age of, I can remember 4, 5, 6, that's when I first started remembering the police coming to the house for my dad.
So he's about 20, your dad then? Something like that?
He was about 20, yeah, but he was one of the lads from Salford. He was, I don't suppose he was a good dad or husband because he was so young. He was, I can't ever remember him being about, he was more Maureen, and I'll tell you why I call her Maureen, because I don't call her Mum, I call her Maureen. So yeah, so from the age of 4, 5, 6, 7 going upwards, all I ever knew was the police coming to the house.
Yep.
Guns in the bedroom, bags of money.
What, you can remember seeing guns?
Oh yeah, I can remember all them things, yeah. And then I can't really say I was a good kid. I've been told that I used to do nasty things when I was a kid, but kids do.
Yeah.
Put drawing pins on stairs.
Dick, I know what you're saying. I know
Weeing in bottles and telling your sisters it's lime, which isn't normal. So I can imagine that my mum had an hard time at them times.
Yeah.
So
how many siblings have you got?
I've got one brother, one sister, both younger.
Both younger. All right,
yeah.
younger. So you're.
There's 2 years to my sister, and then there's 2 years to my brother under.
Yep.
So from the age of 5, 6, 7, we lived in Salford 5, bit of a rough estate. It was called Langworthy at the time. I remember personally, I didn't really get much attention as a kid off my mum. For some reason, I don't know what it was, I found out years later, which I'll explain why, I just didn't get much attention off her, but my brothers and sisters did.
Were you aware of that?
Yeah, I was aware, yeah. From maybe 8, 9, 10,
yeah, when
I used to be able to see, I didn't really get the affection or I didn't get the treats. I was always the one to be punished. Not so much of my dad, more of Maureen.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when I got to the age of 10, 11, and all I'd seen in them early years was the police, guns, bags of money. When I'm on about bags of money, I'm on about cotton bags full of the old pound coin, the old pound notes.
Yeah.
And hearing conversations with my dad and his friends. So from the age of 11, I was put into care. I was put into voluntary care.
What's that mean, voluntary care?
My mum rang someone up and said, I can't control him no more, I don't want it, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So someone come, took me to a place called Moorfield Assessment Centre in Swinton. I was there for 6 months, and then I was told that I had to go to a residential home in Huddersfield. This was at the age of 11.
What? When you first went for that assessment as a kid, being away from home, can't imagine, mate. You know, I did that. It's all right. I remember my.
I was
first,
disowned.
Well, I remember my first day at school. Yeah, cried all the way there. My mother left me in class
No,
with
I loved
Mrs.
it.
Johnson.
I was better in this kids' home than I was at home.
Were you?
The moment I got into that kids' home,
yeah,
was the moment that I was fed proper, I slept proper, I was clothed better, and unfortunately, I met criminals, and that's where things
Is this when you got to Huddersfield?
This is when I got to Huddersfield, yeah. It was the best time of my life, but also the worst time of my life. So I was in there from the age of 11 to 16.
That is a long time, isn't it? To be sort of...
And the only times I ever come home was maybe once a weekend in every month.
Does that stop with your mum?
That's to stop with
Was
her,
it
yeah.
a couple of nights? Just...
No, it was just for a Friday. So I used to have to get a train. They used to drop us off at the train station.
Yeah.
This was at 11. I was only 11.
Yeah.
In Huddersfield. I'd get on the train to Victoria, and then I'd get on the bus from Victoria to Earlham. That's where we lived at the time.
Yeah.
And the home used to give me £2.50. Now in 1981, 82, 83, that was a lot of money, that.
Yeah, it were for a kid.
Well, I wasn't allowed, that was to go straight to Maureen, that, because she had to feed me over that weekend. Even though she used to get family allowance, still, even though I was in care, that money had to go to her because she had to feed me.
Can I ask you, did your brothers and sister get fed?
Yeah. And they've never been in care, they've always been to high schools, they've been...
Do you know what? Tony Wilson, who I interviewed the other day, said as a kid, one of the worst things were being starving. He had siblings who were fed, but he weren't fed.
Oh.
And his first criminality was going out, robbing food because he were hungry.
Yeah, I remember having to rob an ice cream van to rob the crisp out of it because I was hungry, and I was maybe 9, 10, 11. So anyways, from the age of 16, then from this Roy Edge, it was called, in Huddersfield residential home, I committed my first prisonable prison sentence.
Whilst you were in the home?
Whilst I was in the home, yeah. We robbed a car, we had a crash, someone got injured. I got 9 months in prison, 2 days after my 16th birthday.
Were you young juveniles?
Straight to Strangeways.
Did they have a juvenile wing then?
E-wing. It was E-wing. It was just
Okay.
one long E-wing, and that was strictly convicted or JRs. Because back in them days, if I was on remand, I'd be put in with it. Don't matter who. The first
Explain
time
what JR is, mate, because people...
JR is judge's remand. If you're not guilty, and you go to court and you plead guilty, that judge will then remand you in court for either social inquiry reports or to be sentenced.
Yeah.
And you go back what's called judge's remand because you're now a guilty prisoner. Whereas before, you're just on normal not guilty remand.
Yeah.
You have all your privileges as a not guilty prisoner.
Yeah.
But once you're on judge's remand, you're treated as a convicted prisoner.
As a sentenced prisoner.
Yeah, as a sentenced prisoner. So, I got my first prison sentence when I was 16. I got 9 months and I went to Stokeheath. And it was the worst time of my life. I was bullied. I was absolutely terrorised.
How old? You're 16 then?
I'm 16.
What are the oldest lads in there?
21. But
Are you together with them?
I'm on the wing with the Scousers. And back in the day then, it was strictly Manx Scousers. Inley, Stokeheath and Swim for All, it was always a matter of Manx and Scousers. And I was this skinny 16-year-old lad from Salford, but as far as I was from Manchester, and I got absolutely bullied, terrorised. I had my food took off me, I had clothes took off me, I had nothing. Back in the day then, if you got 9 months, you done 6 months.
Yeah.
And for that 6 months, I had nothing. I never had a canteen, I never had a packet of biscuits, nothing. I'd be lucky to get a roll-up off my pad, mate.
Did not the other lads from Manchester and Salford sort of stick together?
No, it wasn't like it used to be. It was all for one and one for all back in the days, yeah.
So
the Scousers stuck together more than what the Manx did.
So they just see you, because you're a young skinny lad, as an easy target.
Yeah. And that sentence was the worst, but the sentence after it, I got another 9 months for an assault, and I went back to Stokeheath. This was only 4 months after being released.
Yeah.
But by this time, I'd got a bit of balls. I'd had a few fights. I'd done a few things outside. I was hanging about with a few lads who had a little bit. So I'd got a bit of... So when I went in this time, I wasn't taking no shit. as for bullying, obviously we don't accept bullies in jail anyway. There are them, but we don't accept them. I thought, anything comes to me this time, I'm just gonna do something. And anyway, I ended up cracking a scouser, and that sentence, I flowed through it, straight through it, not a problem, because I got the message then. Well, in my own head, I've done something.
Yep.
They're going to think twice about it. Now, if I'd done it the first time, I didn't have the balls the first time. It's only the second time I went to jail.
And you were full.
Because I knew exactly. When I went back to jail, I knew exactly what was coming. So anyway, I've done a few sentences then, in between my 16th and my 21st. But when I was 18, I got 4 years. And I went to a place called Castington. And that was it was a great, I shouldn't really say it, but for a prison, it was absolutely great.
Why was it great?
It was just like an holiday camp. It was just...
Explain that, because in the 20 questions we said prison and holiday camp. So if...
Back then, this was in 1989.
Yeah.
And the reason it was a holiday camp with me, because it was just strictly fitness, gym, football. You had to do it. There's no...
Was it like a boot camp?
No, but if you wanted to do it, you had no choice. If you didn't do it in the morning, you'd be brought back in the afternoon to do it. It was a physical thing that was absolutely out of this world. It just took all your stress away, and it was just something that was out of this world. I loved it. I shouldn't have, but I did. At the time, I loved it because it was just strictly fitness, and I loved it. On
that point, right, so I just talked to a young lad yesterday. He's younger than us. He did all the YP, young offenders, juveniles and that, yeah. It's similar stories to you, you know, getting battered, then he learned to fight back. However, what we didn't discuss, and other people have discussed, is boot camps. So although Castlington weren't a boot camp, people I wouldn't expect said boot camp, great. You didn't have a choice, you had to do everything. Like that, you had to do sport, you had to do PE. And let's face it, exercise is the best.
Well, the only times you had to do it was it used to be called detention centre, all the DCs.
Yeah.
I've never went to DC. My first experience of prison was straight to Strangeways. And it was, a lad tried to set the cell on fire, saying he was burning the devil. I was a 16-year-old lad.
In with you? In
with me. I was at the windows screaming. He stood there in the corner of the cell, burning paper and his clothes, saying he's burning the devil. And when the screws come and dragged him out, they put me in another cell. All they did to me was get me out and put me in another cell. That's all they did, put me in another cell and carried him. I've never seen him before or since.
Looking back now, early on in your career, how many people did you see in prison, possibly as young offenders, juveniles, and there who needed help with mental health, mental illness?
Easy 70%. Easy.
Did you think you needed help?
I definitely needed help, yeah. I've thought I've needed help for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. See, this is why sometimes I get frustrated with my wife, because she really, really doesn't understand what goes on inside my head. I can't sometimes explain it to her. I have explained things to her, how I feel, and sometimes my emotional feelings, but she's gone through that much shit. She's hardened to it now. It's as if, how can I put it? She'd do anything, she'd move the earth for me. But there's some things that you need to sort out yourself.
Well, do you not think maybe the best counsellors for people like yourself and anyone else who's been through trauma and that would be, and myself, people like us?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Without any qualifications.
You don't need qualifications.
Like you said, the listeners,
skills.
Another prisoner listening to you, yeah, or myself, where I think I have a fair understanding of people now. They're the best people to counsel you, aren't they?
Well,
not someone who has been to college, university, or whatever chosen career path. You know, they might have empathy and understanding.
If there was a choice for ex-prisoners and someone really, really approached these prisoners when they're released from prison, and told them, this is how we're going to change your life now, right? So
Yeah.
what have you been doing all these years? You've been doing this, that and the other, right?
Yeah.
You've got no work because no one's going to employ you.
Yeah.
So we're going to employ you. And the reason we're going to employ you is because we want you to go to these people who are just starting, they've got that little, they're just that step away from no hope.
Yeah.
And let's go on your success rate. That's what it should go on. It should go on your success rate. Not whether you've stopped this lad going to prison this time, whether you've stopped this lad going to prison, full stop.
I'm a big believer in mentoring. By that I mean, let's just say you come out of prison, yeah? So like you say, you're not going to get employment, you might be on benefits or whatever. We know how much it costs now to send people to prison, between 40 and 50 grand. Why not employ people? There'll be loads of people out there, ex-prisoners, people like myself, and other people, young and old. Employ me, yeah? Give me 25 grand in here, you come out of prison, right, bam, you're under me and another. I'm mentoring you. So you can talk every day, you know, if you've got problems, we can sit and talk about them. That's one about mentoring. Helping people settle down, someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Someone to talk to when your missus don't understand.
You need it more than anything.
Because they're not going to understand, are they? If you haven't been to prison, either side at the door, then you're not going to understand what it's about, are you?
You don't need qualifications for life skills.
No.
And for us who've been through it and done it, how people have not took advantage of the skills we've got. It just doesn't... It's like when you go on your licence, you get out of prison and you go to probation on licence. So on my 5.5 years licence, I've done 33 months in prison and 33 months on licence.
Yeah.
What did I do on that 33-month licence? Nothing. Go to the probation once a month, sign a register, tell her I'm okay, I'm fine, and that is it. I wasn't asked to go and speak to these young lads who've just got probation for the first time and the next day's at prison.
Yeah.
I was never approached, and when I've said that, that's what I'd like to do. Where do you go? How do you go about it? What, you know, you can't just...
Very, very valid point. A lot of these, you know, these organisations about prison reform and that, they've recognised that, you know, prisoners have got something to say from their experience. However, I doubt very much any of them got ex-prison staff on board, and I think they're missing a point with that. But what you're saying there, you know, America, although their prison system is shite because it's all about money, at least when you see some of these programmes with young teenagers at that tipping point, you put them in front of lifers who, like, they're pulling no punches, are they?
I've watched them all. I've watched them all.
Take a group of school kids, 14, 15-year-olds, round Strangeways at dinner when it's banged up. They're not going to, because of risk, and
they're not going to commit a crime again because
they'd be terrified, wouldn't they? Of course they would. Just seeing the building inside, wouldn't they?
Just airing, just that airism. You know, when you walk, it's like when you walk on that wing at night, and everyone's locked away, and you're the last receptions to come back.
Yep.
You can just hear. That's the most frightening silence you can ever hear in your life.
Sometimes, you know, the worst days on K-Wing for me weren't having you all out at night, 200, like a zoo. And obviously I'm not meaning animals, like a zoo, weren't it? You'd all be jibbing about, there'd be stuff like Mr. Redfern, Lee, get off the fucking landing. Yeah, an atmosphere. However, Saturday afternoon, there's only 3 staff, we can't get you out. So you're on the landing, people kicking the doors, you want to fucking exercise, it's sunny. That was terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, it was, that is, you know, people would walk on and they would feel it, wouldn't they?
You can, is it Strangeways got that airism about it. It always has. Especially when you walk into the top half of the jail, and you're walking through the main corridor, and you've got the rotunda then, and when you're standing there and you look about.
No, I remember my first time because I didn't understand it, so I've walked in. So you've got G-wing, haven't you?
Yeah.
H, I, and K, and it just felt. It felt like it did feel like I were in prison, literally. You know, it was. I thought it was intimidating. I didn't understand the layout. And it had that atmosphere.
Yeah, it's scary. So you can imagine how it felt for a 16-year-old lad the first time he'd ever gone in.
I can't.
Because then it didn't, you had to be 16. If you was a day under 16, you couldn't go to Strangeways, but from the day you was 16,
off you go.
You could go there, yeah.
So back to your sentence at Castlington Holiday Camp.
Yeah. So anyway, I got out there as fit as a fiddle. That's when I met my wife, and we've now due.
How old were you then? There or thereabouts?
22, 23. I was in a relationship before I met my wife, a girl that I met from school, but it wasn't. Apparently, it was my first love, but obviously now my wife's definitely my first love.
Yeah.
It was just my first girlfriend. So that's how long we've been together. So anyway, so from then, I just had fucking silly sentences, not really had much work. And when I have had work, I've rather been sacked because they found out I have had a criminal record. I've lied on me.
Declare it?
You know, I can't declare the things I've been in prison for. I'd never get a job. So anyway, so
would you like to be able to, you know, would you like to just being able to get a job and do a job and be left alone and get on with it?
Oh yeah, of course I would, yeah. I'd love to be able to just get one settled job. My main job would have been driving. That's what I love. Driving was my job. So no matter what I would have loved to have had a driving job, full stop. But like I say, with my criminal record,
yeah,
and being a lorry driver or a courier, you've got access to all this. They're not giving you the job, as you know.
Yeah.
So I met my wife in 91, 92, 90. And I had my daughter Danielle whilst I was in prison doing a 3 years, 8 month sentence. I was
How
in Walton.
bad was that?
Worst time of my life. One of the most.
Did you get in your neck from missus as well?
No, because we hadn't been together long. I'd only been with my wife 4 months, and she got caught, and I got sentenced. So I'd met her. We basically moved in together straight away from the moment we met each other.
And I lasted. You know when it's right, don't you?
Oh yeah, it was. From the moment I met her in town, we've been together ever since. We were together 4 months. She got caught pregnant, and I got 3 years, 9 months. I was in Walton.
Yep.
So I got.
You got 3 years, 9 months.
Yeah.
So she's got caught. You weren't at the birth of your daughter.
No.
And your daughter was how old when you got
18
out?
months.
Whoa.
And I'd only just basically met this girl 4 months before, and all we was doing in them 4 months was fucking hacienda in it.
Tell people what hacienda is. They won't understand what just the culture.
Hacienda is the main club that used to be in Manchester town centre, renowned for all kinds
of violence.
Drugs, violence.
Was it like rave scene then?
It was. Yeah, it was the main. It was the main rave scene. It was the biggest club in the country. Everyone knew about the hacienda. It was just. That's where ecstasy kicked off in Manchester. That's when Bez and Happy Mondays used to all go there.
Yeah.
And so anyway, like I said, I met my wife, and that's all we did for that 4 months. We just partied. Anyway, I got convicted of possession of a firearm. I got 3 years, 9 months. It wasn't mandatory 5 then. It was whatever you got. So anyway, I got 3 years, 9 months, pleaded guilty. Got out when my daughter was 18 months. And then just basically went mad, just thought about money.
2 questions. When your missus got with you, even though you were both young and hadn't been together long, and fell madly in love, I'll say that, did she know about your criminality before that? Did she know?
She didn't know my criminality, but she knew the people that I was associated with, because I met her with the people.
Yeah.
We was out basically, the lads were out.
Yeah.
And obviously being at them times, everyone knew who we was or the names that we were. She was from Stretford, my wife, and she had friends who were the lads, you know, and and when I introduced her to my friends, she obviously knew who he was, so she knew I wasn't.
Any ultimatum when you got out of prison and you've got an 18-month-old daughter, you know?
No, she's never done that. She's never ever. No, she's never ever. She has. Since my grandchildren have been born, and she says I'm a better granddad than I ever would be a father because I was never there.
How did that hurt?
I wasn't. I felt great.
No, you felt great because she was saying you were a good granddad.
Yeah.
Did it not hit you that she was saying you weren't a good father?
Yeah, it did, but I think that my kids have turned out the way they have because I have been to prison.
Explain that, people won't understand.
My wife brought my kids up basically.
Yeah.
And she brought them up.
Proper
Proper
manners,
they've got
P's and Q's.
no one says a wrong word about my son, and they're well liked, well respected.
Yeah.
Now, if I would have been out all them years and doing, my son would have been at my side. It'd have been
Really.
Although he knows everyone. He knows he's not stupid. He's
of course.
very, very. But he's just gone the complete opposite way.
Well, the thing is, in reality, most people could swap lives, couldn't they?
Oh yeah.
You know, the more I thought about it, I might even talk about that one day. I had a lot of friends who were involved in criminality.
So you could have gone the other way.
Listen, closer than you think. But it is very interesting to. So really, you know, your missus, because you weren't there, she's been the main influence in their lives.
Yeah.
They've turned out how you would want them to turn out, and maybe not like that if you've been around.
Yeah, that's what I believe. Yeah. And that's why it hurts because I wasn't there, but I feel as if it was the right thing. For some strange reason, it was just the right thing because she brought him up. Oh, I would have wanted to bring him up, but I knew that I wouldn't have been able to.
Have you had that conversation with the kids? Have you talked about it? You know?
They know.
Is it something that you don't need to talk about?
No,
because it's just something that...
They just know, they know me. They know what I used to be into. They know the people I used to associate with. I used to go out on a Friday and I'd be looking to come back on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. If I've not come back in 3 years' time. So yeah, I owe a lot for that. I don't really show me appreciation as much as I should, because I think sometimes it's because we've been together so long.
Yeah.
We're so used to each other.
Familiarity, isn't it?
It's just, everything just, like I say, it's just it's like normal.
Well, you probably normally wouldn't be talking about the things we're talking about with anyone, would you?
Oh, never.
So, you know, you're not going to be with a family member or one of your mates in Boozer saying, oh, my missus.
No, we'll never discuss, no. So anyway, like I was saying, Samworth.
You're going to call me Sam, are you? Carry on.
So from them days, it's all been about me, basically. I've been such a selfish...
Do you think criminals are selfish people?
Oh, of course we are, yeah. We won't be a criminal if we weren't selfish. You can't not get a selfish criminal because it's selfish what we do, isn't it?
Yep, it is.
You know, the rightful legal person...
I said this to someone and they weren't quite... Do you think it's a dishonest profession?
Of course it is. There's nothing worse. But if you sat down with 100 criminals, convicted criminals, I bet 85–90% of them would deep down be fucking disgusted with themselves. But life has chose that path for us. It has, you know.
What would you say? Someone would say, well, you had your choices when you're in that home at Huddersfield. Yeah, there might have been some bad lads.
I was always led this path. From the moment I was born, I believe that I was going down that criminality path. There was no other way.
I think you are.
Because of what I saw.
Yeah.
And I knew nothing different. To be sat there at home with Maureen to say, we can't go to the fair tomorrow unless your dad comes home with money. And then the next minute, there's a bag being brought home with a couple of guys, and that bag's being put on the kitchen table, and it's being opened, and it's like, we're going to the fair tomorrow. I knew nothing different.
You see, I naturally would think that people would try and hide things from the kids.
No, it wasn't it.
So it's normal for you.
It was just
it's not normal, but it was.
It was normal to that family at the time, yeah.
Do you think it's fair to say that people are products of the childhood? I do.
Oh, definitely.
People can harp on about choices or whatever, but you know, I was lucky. So my nan and my mum were my main people in my life, and my nan's siblings, my uncles, and so we were loved in that, and we did. Although we didn't have a lot, normal things. I don't miss Tony, my dad. He's still alive, I think. We call him Tony because he was never a dad.
Yeah.
You know, people going about single parent families. Like you said, I think if he'd have been in my life, probably wouldn't have ended up. Yeah, I think very much, because he was a scrapper, gambler, bit of a womanizer, whatever. You know, I didn't know him enough to to put them
Well,
words.
no, that you look up to your old man, don't you?
Yeah, so quite possibly.
And that's where I think with my Eric.
So like your kids, my mum and my nan being massive influence.
Yeah.
Please and thank yous, respect people, respect elders. It was drilled into us.
Yeah, and that's, I know that she's drilled that into them, because I wouldn't have been able to drill it into him. It wasn't my nature to be saying thank you and blah blah. It's take. So anyway, so where was this? So yeah, so
you've just done your bird.
I've just done my sentence, and I've got on my daughter's 18 month, and I just carried on basically to where I. But
have you always been up to Summit Lodge?
Always been up to Summit, yeah. Unfortunately, I've only ever been to prison for things to do with alcohol, violence. If I'd have gone to prison for some of the things that I have been done for or been accused of, I'd still be in prison now. So there was a time in my life where I had to say, and that time in my life come about 11 years ago when my first grandson was born.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm never going back to prison again. And from that sentence, I've had 120 month. Sorry, from 2006, when I got me 5.5.
Yeah.
I got out in 2009.
Yeah.
And my last sentence from that was 20 months. I've not been back since. And
was that a blip?
That was the one I went to 2 years ago. I got 20 months for bringing illegal immigrants into the country. And it was the worst prison sentence, one of the shortest.
Yep.
And it's absolutely broke my back.
Because?
I can't do it no more. Back in the day, it was just occupational hazard. You go to jail, you get your head down, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yep.
But then when I sat back and thought about it, well, there's something I can do about it. I just need to stop fucking drinking. And then as soon as I stop drinking as much and not getting into that state where I get violent with no matter who it is, it just changed my life, especially since my grandkids come along.
How big a thing's alcohol? Do you think?
It's the worst thing ever.
For now, it's a big thing, man. Now, a big thing that it's just available. We can go in there now, can't we? Get a trolley full of, buy 4, 5, 6 afters of bottles of vodka, sit here, get hammered. It does make a lot of people violent. A lot of people can't handle it. A lot of people end up in prison because of alcohol. Alcohol-related offences.
A lot of prison. A lot of
deaths around it. You know, the thing is, it's big money in it for government. Cigarettes and alcohol, they make a lot of money.
So of course it is.
You know, everyone goes on about drugs, yet the weight on society, people drinking and the like.
Well, it's like when you say that the government, they know what cigarettes do to you, yet they insist on, they don't even do it now, they've even done it so they can't sell 10s, so they're making people buy 26 now. You can't buy 10 cigarettes now.
What's 26 cost now?
14 quid.
Jesus.
And some people smoke 36 a day.
It's a lot of money, isn't it? It's a lot of money in tax.
Well, yeah, like I say, with alcohol as well. And alcohol to me is the worst root of all of evils. Because like I say, it's freely available.
Yeah.
And it's legal. And it's the worst one out of the lot of them.
Right, tell me about this last sentence. You said it's worst one you've ever done. How hard was it? Any tears?
Oh yeah, plenty tears. Plenty. On this last one here, because it was so short as well.
Yeah.
I just realised how much it's not for me anymore. It's full of spice.
Yeah.
And I mean full of spice.
Are they going to be able to stop that?
Never going to be able to stop it. He's coming in clothes now.
Yeah, no.
You can't stop people getting boxer shorts in. He's coming in boxer shorts.
Well, I said this, as simple as it is. You know, the prison service, I keep saying all this bollocks about they're going to do prisons with this airport-style security. If I'm a prison officer, realistically, every day, I always used to wear white T-shirts under. I can have a white T-shirt soaked in spice, come in every day, get one out at laundry, because there's always spare in there. Every wing's got a laundry. Put one on. There you go. In your cell, there's my white T-shirt loaded with spice. What is that T-shirt worth?
Thousands.
Thousands of pounds.
Thousands.
How are they going to stop people taking it in like that?
They sell. This is how much people make on spice nowadays. So you get an A4 piece of paper.
Yep.
And that A4 piece of paper is worth £500 because an ID card is the same size as a credit card, and that is £50.
So what they do? So if you got an A4, you just cut that out.
Get your ID card, put it on the A4, cut it around it, £50. And on the back of that piece of A4 paper will be the bank details. So there's your spice, there's your bank details, put it in that account.
If we had that, how many hits, smokes, sessions?
It'd last you a good night. One night that'd last me.
50 quid's worth for the last one night?
One night, yeah.
And people smoking that in prison?
Got no choice.
People, alright, so maybe you got funds or whatever. A lot of people ain't got 50 quid a year. They must be getting in massive debt. So how are they being made to pay these debts off? Pressure outside?
There's certain ways in there's rather hits, pressure outside.
Yeah.
Mr. Samworth, I've seen lads on spice every single day not cost them a penny, and they've been giving it so the lads can buzz off them.
Sadly, before I left, people were going out yard, dropping a rollie. They knew what were in it, and watching lads pick it up, throw a whitey, bam, hit deck, bounce.
I had trouble in Risley with a lad over it. I'd never touched it before in my life until I'd just done this sentence, this 20-month sentence. Would never have spice. You're mad, never. And I was in Risley, I think it was on my 2.5 in me 2006, and someone had left a roll up in the ashtray. And I said, just like, and he didn't tell me. And before I knew it, I didn't remember anything. And I fucking went absolutely. Let's just say he regretted it for not informing me.
It's problematic, isn't it?
It's the worst drug. It's just the worst drug.
What would your drug of choice before spice had been in prison?
Weed, strictly weed.
What about getting piss tested because it's in your blood, not arsed? Take it on chin.
It is what it is, isn't it? That's one thing that I could never ever stop. I've done it all my life, smoke weed. And if you get caught for it, you get caught for it. And you know the score, don't we? You get caught with it, you get caught with it sometimes.
So how long have you been smoking weed?
Been smoking weed since I was 14.
So right, probably probably a similar age, but no, a similar time in life, because I'd have been about 24 then, yeah? So when I used to smoke weed, I tell you, we had solid, red leb, stuff like that, sensei, which was literally grass. Not this skunk shit now. You chill out, you chill out, and probably want to eat great massive amounts of KFC or something similar, I stopped when it changed. It started going to skunk. I noticed parties and that, my mates were just out of it. You weren't saying, they were all chilling and laughing and giggles. People would end up.
My wife has said to me, and she says it every single day, and I tell her how pissed off I am at her every single day, and she keeps saying to me, you are smoking more and more. 2 years ago, I got an appointment to go to the doctors, and the doctor said to me, you don't stop smoking, you're dead within 10 years. The doctor said it to me. She said, since that doctor told me that, I have smoked twice as much. Now, when I get up in the morning, Mr. Samworth, I get up every single morning at 7:15. I go downstairs and I have a joint. And I will not stop smoking that weed until my head is that pillow at night.
Why?
I haven't got a clue. I just cannot. I've tried everything in my.
You smoke it with tobacco?
With tobacco, yeah. But I don't just smoke skunk. I smoke Cali.
Oh, that Cali weed.
And it's different grade.
Just tell people
what it is.
Now.
What it's Cali called Cali because California weed it's called. Basically, it's from the US of A, and because it's medically legal over there, they do different grades.
Old school weed, not like skunk?
It's like people tell me, although I've never had it, people tell me it's like crack.
Really?
Really. It's that addictive. Now, I cannot go, like I've gone here now, as soon as I leave you, I'll be having a joint. I smoke weed 24 hours a day if I could, but the problem with me now is I'm smoking this high purity Cali bud. So, explaining Cali bud is so you can get different stages.
Yeah.
You can get some with hardly any THC,
Yeah.
or you can get some that's got 90% THC.
So that's the active ingredient in
And
cannabis, isn't it?
And that's that THC. You can put that on anything. It's just on the plant. That's what gets you stoned, the THC. And I've known that much now that I'm smoking. I don't even if I was to give you a joint or any normal person who smokes weed, one of my joints, they'd be wrecked all day. I've had about 6 of them this morning, and I don't even feel as if it's done anything.
Any psychosis or paranoia?
24 hours a day.
This is the problem, you see. Do you know what? There's lads you know and I know used to lock up who've been heroin addicts all their life. Yeah, used to be on I-wing all the time and that.
Yeah.
A couple of hard lads as well.
Yeah.
One of them, just before I left, he landed on healthcare. Yeah. Psychosis. Started smoking weed heavy. Not so much heroin. Yeah. Psychosis. First time in his life. Going to Prestwich Hospital. Yeah. Went in his cell with Miss Bradbury. Because he was proper agitated. You know, you could tell he were like not there.
Yeah.
Big bucket of diazepam to give him to calm him down, wouldn't take it. That's a lad who would take any drug. You know, if you offered him diazepam, his eyes, nothing. See, my fear is now, like you're saying that, the paranoia, psychosis.
Psychosis with me, not paranoia. And forget, I can say, my wife could tell me something, and then I'll ask her again 1 minute, and she'll say, I've just told you. Or she'll tell me something, and I'll forget. My memory is just completely going. I can be sat downstairs, and I'll go upstairs to get something, and by the time I've gone to the top of the stairs, I can't remember what I've gone upstairs for.
Listen, I'll tell you what's worrying for me. Park near us, local park at night, youngsters. I would hazard a guess the youngest are 11, 12, maybe 13 foot. That sort of age group smoking weed every night.
No, it's not good, that. Especially the
And
they're smoking skunk. You don't get solid nowadays. You can't go and get Sputnik or Red Leb or anything else. The only thing that weed sellers sell is skunk.
And they add things to it, don't they?
Well, yeah.
When they're growing it,
of course they do.
You know.
Some of them can rather put the stuff that you do the spice with for the weight or the glass. There's loads of different ways they put extra weight to it.
Have your kids been on about smoking weed, stuff like that?
Yeah. Me 11-year-old
worried about your health?
Yeah, my 11-year-old grandson. I wake up every morning saying this is the day, and I go downstairs and I have a joint, and it breaks me heart. I can't fathom why I carry on doing it. Like today now, I've smoked 30 quid worth of weed, and I don't even feel like I've smoked anything. But if anyone else would have smoked one of them joints I've just smoked, they'd have been off the neck.
Well, what's that telling you now? If you're telling me I had one, I'd be off my head all day, and you're smoking, chain smoking, cannot be long term for your mental health.
Oh yeah.
You can see why Mrs. concerned, can't you?
I can feel it coming on slowly. I can actually feel it coming on slowly. And I know for a fact that she can, because she says I'm nasty, but I can't see it. She says that sometimes I'm being aggressive, but I can't see it. But obviously she can, because she's on the other end of it.
Yeah.
That's where I come to it, where I say how she puts up with me, I'll never know.
So much to work on, grandkids and that.
Oh yeah, but my wife's been through it as well. She's not had it easy, you know. She's lost her mum and dad. She's got she had a very good job, my wife. She worked for where she was working for 26 years.
Yeah.
She lost her mum and dad.
Yeah.
And now she's a carer for her brother. Now her brother's got the disease called FOP. Now what that entails is, have you ever seen the documentary, The Little Girl That Turns to Stone?
I have, yeah.
That's what he's got. Now they can't do nothing about it because they don't know
it's like
nothing
1 in
about
a million or something, isn't it?
Apparently, officially, 700 people in the world got it.
On the planet?
On the planet, yeah.
Wow.
And unfortunately, he's like that. He's absolutely solid, and he's stuck in a statue state since the age of 11. He's nearly 60 now.
Really?
Oh yeah. He can't. The only thing he can move is his thumbs. All his faculties are there. His brain is what you can.
Oh, that was terrible.
He's just the disease that he's got. And if you met him, you'd think, wow, what a. He just gets on with it.
Must be super hard, that, mate.
Just plods on. I mean, I've known him that long now. Alright, dickhead. You know, it's just.
Doesn't it inspire you though? If someone can live like that maybe.
He's amazing. If to be truthful with you, I've told my wife this. He's amazing. For him to be able to cope,
smile.
I mean, when he lost his mum and dad, we're having to wipe his tears. That's how bad he can't.
Your joints and everything just go solid, don't you?
He's stuck. He's stuck in a statue.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, and all his soft tissue turns to hard gristle.
Jesus.
So yeah, she's my wife looks after him now. We only spend 3 nights a week together in the same bed, me and my wife.
Yeah.
And this has gone on for the last 10, 15 years now. But yeah, she's a credit. I don't know how she's done it, to tell you the truth, with Samworth. I really don't. And if I could make it better for her, because I know for a fact it's a toll on her. It definitely is, 100%. Because she's got an older brother.
Yep.
Just done nothing. He's just completely and utterly left them both to it.
Yeah.
A disabled brother, Alan, and she's just left him to it.
Maybe it's time for a change, mate.
Yeah, it is. See, it's like we're saying there, my life would have been completely different if it wasn't for her as well.
Well, you'd be dead.
Oh, I'd be dead. I'd rather be dead or doing a very, very long prison sentence. Because even though sometimes she says I don't show it, I love her more than anything. There's nothing I wouldn't do for her. There's nothing that I haven't done for her, you know.
Yeah.
And now that I'm getting older, and we're both getting older, we seem to be getting more busy. Like, we've got the dogs, we've got rid of all the kids, we've got rid of all the grandkids, now we've got 3 dogs. They're our lives. Then we've got these 6 puppies, and we're tired and we're niggling and I'll snap, and then I'll walk out of the room and then I'll think, you know, what's just happened there? Why have you just reacted like that? And then I think to myself, that's me, that's not her. That's something.
Well, that's good that you can look at it like that, you know. It takes a bit of a.
Oh, definitely. If I was to sit in the house with her and we'd have crosswords,
yep,
it definitely is more my fault than hers. Because she doesn't do anything to cause. It's me. Whether I'm stoned or I get in a mood, or I can't explain it. It's just.
Do you know what we're gonna do, mate? I know you haven't finished. I think that's a very good place to finish. I'll tell you why. A lot of thought-provoking things from yourself. You know, with your missus, what's going on, like you say, you're busy and stuff like that. And it makes it more understandable why your wife and kids are concerned about your health, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I know my son's concerned. He always mentions it, Dad, you're smoking too much. Dad, you don't do any exercises, you're eating shit.
Do you think that's a good place to stop?
Yeah.
And then we will look up again next week or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Very thought-provoking for me, that as well, mate.
Yeah, it does make you think, doesn't it? Mr. Samworth, it's been a pleasure.
Mr. Samworth. No, Lee, listen, mate. We'll give it a week. We'll look back up and we'll pick that story up. But maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we can go deep. Cheers.
Al City.